What's going on, Legion? Azrael here, like always. We got some kind of, well, we got, is it Jeff? Is that his name? I actually forgot his name. Well, it doesn't actually say his name. But this is Overwatch, and normally I wouldn't really cover something like this, but this is all about the new character, I believe, and all the new changes coming out in Overwatch. Yeah, I'm getting back into Overwatch, having a lot of fun with it. Fun game. Just a quick promo if you want to check out my Twitch channel. SLE_Azrael, AZRAEL. Yeah, man, play Overwatch, play all kinds of games all the time. So yeah, let's just get into this and see what he has to say. This character's badass. I love playing her. Probably one of my favorites so far.
I'm Jeff from the Overwatch
What's
team.
Jeff?
Very excited to be here with an awesome developer update because we are introducing the 24th hero to Overwatch today.
Right.
So we're here to talk about Orisa. Orisa is a brand new character. A lot of you probably haven't heard of her before.
He has a shit shirt on. I hate it.
Cool backstory. So we want to talk a little bit about that and introduce you to how Orisa came to be.
All right,
So
cool.
I'm going to back way up to the Omnic Crisis, which, as many of you know, was this terrible world war that happened where robots sort of took over the world. Humans fought back. Overwatch was a big part of that. We eventually struck peace with the Omnics, but during that Omnic Crisis, there were many different Omnic units used in the battles. So, as you know, Bastion, as example, was one of those units that was used in the battle. Well, there was another unit called the OR-14, which was specifically a unit designed to fight against the humans and
Get a drink of water.
The Omnic Crisis. Well, fast forward many years later, after the Omnic Crisis, peace has been struck. We're in the city of Nimbani, where humans and Omnics get along great. It's actually one of the most technologically advanced and peaceful cities on the planet. But they start to run into some strife from a local villain who you might have heard of before.
Doomfist.
His name is Doomfist. And in order to start to guard against Doomfist's attack and protect the city against any other dangers that might come about, the citizens of Nimbani developed a more advanced version of the old OR-14 unit, which they, not surprisingly, called the OR-15. So it was one version higher. Well, the OR-15s initially were okay and suited for battle, but they eventually lost horrifically against Doomfist, specifically in a battle that took place in the Nimbani airport. And most of the citizens of Nimbani just gave up on the OR-15 and said, they failed miserably. They're laying in pieces scattered throughout the airport terminal. This is no good. We give up on these things. Well, there was a young girl who didn't give up hope. Her name was Ify. She was an extremely smart girl, excellent at science,
which we did a reaction to,
mathematics, programming. She still had hope. She still believed in what these OR-15 units were supposed to do for her city. So she sort of, as a scrappy young girl, took the pieces back to her workshop, worked on this unit, and created the evolution to what the OR-14 and 15s were, and named it Orisa. And she made a single heroic unit that wasn't supposed to be part of a huge battalion, but was supposed to be a specific individual hero, and named it Orisa. So Orisa, in terms of the timeline of Overwatch, is a brand new hero just on the scene. So we have yet to see what Orisa is really going to do. So that's part of what's very exciting. Most of our heroes have a big historical background. We've seen them succeed and fail in their past histories, where Orisa is new on the scene, and it is Ify who has created her, who is really encouraging her to become a new hero of the future. Now, let's talk about mechanically what Orisa does and what she brings to the game, and
character's so
why we
badass.
designed Orisa the way we did. So,
I'm kind of
interested.
interested.
Her abilities first. First of all, she's a tank, so she will be in the tank role. Her primary weapon is called the Fusion Driver. Think of it as a projectile-based machine gun. She moves a little bit more slowly when she's shooting it, but it has a good range to it. Probably more range than almost any of our tanks have on their weapons. Maybe Zarya's alternate fire goes, equally far, but she's got a good range on it, good rate of fire.
Bastion.
Really high
He's not a
sustain
tank.
weapon with a large clip size. So that's the fusion driver. The alternate fire ability on the fusion driver is
So
of
sick.
extreme utility. So it sends out basically a pulse. Think of Zarya's graviton charge, which is Zarya's ultimate, but it
Right.
sends out a single pulse out from her, and then you can
Through the gun.
click your alternate fire again, and it will bring any affected targets
Right.
within its radius for a very short period of time. So it's like a little mini graviton surge.
Like
that she can
second.
do more often, and mostly she's using it for positioning or repositioning her targets.
Right.
It also, briefly puts them in place. So if you have a teammate who's a Widowmaker or a Hanzo or even Orisa with her great range on her gun, can shoot towards that, and it really helps you line up some critical shots. That can happen. You can also
Character's
pull
really
people around
real fun to
corners.
play.
So that's a really fun ability that she has. She also has a tank ability called Fortify. And what Fortify does is it not only makes Orisa a little bit tougher, but it prevents Orisa from sustaining any sort of crowd control ability that might be used against her. So like the most obvious examples are maybe Pharah's concussive blast, which normally knocks people around, moves them out of
That's cool.
position.
Zarya can do it too.
Orisa has Fortify on, and she's going over that bridge in the Gardens of Lijiang Tower. You can't knock her off at that point.
You said Lijiang Tower, no!
She doesn't take as much damage as well. So Fortify is a very useful, very straightforward tank ability. Now, one of Orisa's most defining abilities is her protective barrier.
It's really
The
fun.
protective barrier is, think along the lines of Reinhardt's barrier shield,
Right.
or Winston's barrier bubble that he throws out. The protective barrier has quite a range to it. It's roughly the size and shape of...
Think of Halo 3 or ODST or whatever one it was that had the attachments for bubble shields. And then there was the other one that put up the front-facing shield. It's like that, but about the size of Reinhardt's.
about half of Winston's bubble, and it goes out anywhere where she targets it. So it could be in front of her,
Jeez.
slightly off to the side. She could use it in close on herself, or she could use it, further in front of her to shield an ally, and it creates a barrier that has the normal amount of damage it can take, like other barriers in the game. You can destroy it. Things that go through barriers, like Symmetra's alternate fire, will go through this. So it's got a lot of utility to it, and a lot of use and a lot of protectiveness. And lastly, there's her ultimate ability, which is her supercharger. So she wears this drum-like item on her back. When her ultimate's up, she can take it off her back, throw it down on the ground, and it's effectively damage boosting anybody who's in line of sight of the supercharger. Now, the thing about the supercharger is that the enemy team can kill the supercharger. So you really need to make sure to protect your supercharger, either with your protective barrier, or maybe you want to put the supercharger, just off to the side, out of line of sight of your enemies, but in line of sight of your teammates. So there's some gameplay there to figuring out where the supercharger is, because if the enemy team kills it right away, then your team loses all of that benefit. Now, with Orisa, I really want to talk about why are we adding another tank? Because I know that topic will come up, and a lot of people are sort of wondering, how do we pick what heroes come next? And there's a lot of reasons for that, but primarily with Orisa, we were looking at our tank lineup, and we have heroes like D.Va and Winston who are much more disruptive in terms of tanking. They're much more defined by their mobility. They like to get in, they like to get out, they don't stay in one place for too long.
Right.
They cause a lot of disruption and harassment. You've got somebody like Roadhog, who he's all about punishing people who are out of position and positioning himself to punish people who are out of position. So, he plays a very different sort of role. But we were spending a lot of time looking at Reinhardt and saying, what really defines Reinhardt and why is he so important and critical to Overwatch? And we started to describe Reinhardt, the term that we would use on the development team was we'd call him an anchor tank. And what we mean by that is that Reinhardt almost anchors the entire team. The team, with a properly positioned Reinhardt, the team builds and positions around Reinhardt.
Right.
Because he doesn't have a lot of mobility abilities, and because he has that protective barrier in front of him, you sort of know where to position yourself and when the team is going to engage or disengage based upon what Reinhardt is doing. So we like this idea of what we kept calling an anchor tank. And we felt like players needed more options in that sort of anchor tank role.
Yeah.
We wanted another tank
It's just
that
the one.
teams could build around and
Where does
position
Zarya then?
around. And even though we think that tanks like
A
Winston
Guardian
are
tank?
really great in what they bring to the game, they're not necessarily bringing what Reinhardt was bringing.
Yeah,
So
very
we
true.
hope that in Orisa, there is now another option to a low mobility tank, but one that brings a high amount of protection in her protective barrier, where you kind of see her on the battlefield and go, oh, okay, we're approaching from this angle. I will get behind Orisa. I'll follow Orisa. She'll put the barrier up. We'll follow her in and we'll engage in that regard. So we know that there are concerns about barriers in the game. We've actually, we've been working on Bastion, retuning him to be more effective against barriers. We do have some very effective heroes against barriers right now. For example, Symmetra with her alternate fire goes directly through them. Obviously, Reinhardt's Fire Strike goes through barriers as well. Junkrat's grenades do tremendous damage to barriers and will melt them very quickly. And if barriers become too much of a thing, we're looking at those in terms of balance and how to adjust accordingly. Most of all, we just wanted to bring a new and exciting hero to Overwatch. Not only does she fill a role that we felt was very needed, not just a tank, but one of these anchor tanks that you really build a team around. We also felt like Orisa was visually challenging. We often hear that, when it comes to female characters, they tend to be more limited in their size and appearance, where the male characters get these really big and challenging visual designs that are very exciting. And we've heard a lot of desire to have a very visually challenging.
It's a robot with a female voice. Come on.
That was fun for us to explore as well. So we really wanted to bring that to Overwatch. And most of all, we wanted to bring a really cool hero with a lot of backstory that really rounded out our current cast. That is not only these old school heroes who took part in the old Overwatch and Talon
12 minutes or 12 hours
battles of the past, but really brought something new and gave us some new hope to look forward to what are the heroes of the future going to bring to Overwatch. So we're really looking forward to all the feedback we're going to get on Orisa. We're going to keep working on her until she's just right and just perfect. We hope you enjoy her, and thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Oh, there she is right there. It said Li Zhang Tower. God damn it. Alright, well, there was a whole lot of not to say in that video. Didn't want to talk over the guy. I'm glad they're hopefully going to tune her up, because a Zenyatta can, I think he can literally 3-shot you without debuffing you. Zenyatta is just killing me constantly when I play this character. The Fortify perk, that shit sucks. I thought it was more of a damage resist or debuff damage, but it's more like what he was talking about with Pharah or Zarya that can boop you. It's because Zarya can boop people too. I've used her abilities in two things. One was my Torbjorn wasn't able to. We were on Valskaya Industries on defense, and we were on the second point, and he was trying to put his turret up on the center, that thing that sticks out in the middle of the point, and he couldn't get it quite fully built because he kept getting hit. So I threw my portable shield down there, blocked it, he got it up, no problem, awesome. The other thing was, I was shooting a tracer, got a few hits on her. She went around a corner. I shot my little bubble thing, detonated it myself because it auto detonates after a certain time, or if it hits a wall and just sits there, it auto. Boom. And so the tracer was around a corner. I shot it and pulled her back and killed her. So that was really cool. But all the characters that are specifically meant to destroy a tank can really mess up Orisa instantly. Supercharger, holy shit, it's fun. I might have actually walked around a corner and lost part of it. That's probably why I died so easy, I guess, maybe. I don't exactly know. But the Supercharger is just makes everyone badass. Holy crap, there's a dog out there. I can't wait to see like I do not think Orisa, at least the version I played in PTR, is at all qualified to be a Reinhardt replacement. Especially when I've gotten hit by a Zenyatta a few times and it takes like 4 shots to really get me down to almost dead, and then the 5th one kind of kills you. And he can usually put up a shield almost at any time unless the player is dumb and lets the shield break. When the portable shield has a recharge on it, and the Fortify doesn't really help you like that. So I don't think, and Reinhardt, I think it takes more for him to die than it does Orisa because of his shield and the way he can use it. I don't feel, as of right now, Orisa is a suitable replacement for Reinhardt. If anything, I would say a Reinhardt, Orisa, and a Zarya combo would be really cool because Zarya and Orisa could be doing blocks. If you have 2 real good strikers, and or like I like playing Zarya. I can get 43 eliminations with a Zarya. I think that's pretty good. I think that's contributing a lot as a tank even, because the DPS can get to maybe 50 to 60, or if you're really good, more. And if you have a Reinhardt that's know what you're doing, you can at least contribute to damage and or kill people. So if you have, and that's like, the 3-way tanks, along with a single healer, which is something I was running yesterday when I was playing, is an effective strategy. But I wouldn't take Orisa and a Zarya, or Orisa and a Diva, or Orisa and a Winston. At least not right now. You need something else, because the portable shield can break. But usually, unless the shield is broke almost completely instantly, the recharge is it's pretty quick, and after it's destroyed, you can throw another one down, but it's not portable. So that's the weakness there. It's a drawback. So, who knows, man. There's a lot of downsides to having Orisa instead of Reinhardt. If anything, I'd rather have Orisa and a Reinhardt. Unless you're playing against, God, sorry. I'm fucking so tired. Unless you can play really well with another, like a Zarya or something like that. Or, I don't like when people play Winston because they're usually bad. Because he can be countered pretty good. But I would love to see like an Orisa with like a Symmetra. Because you can supercharge the Symmetra. You can have a Mercy damage boost the Symmetra with your supercharger. A Zarya bubble to keep it alive. Like a Symmetra can do so much damage now. She's such a huge player. She's incredible. Can you imagine if I just took my ult as a Orisa and put it behind a wall that only was line of sight to a Bastion, and the Bastion was in his turret mode with like my portable shield in front of him, let's say? Like, that would be something crazy too. There's so many new combinations you can do with this new character. I don't know. I can talk forever, but I think I'm going to end it right there, guys. We got a lot of it. Sorry if I was just kind of like really watching it or pale plain face, resting bro face. I'm really tired, but sorry again for that. I like sneezed, I yawned a couple times, like phew. This video felt like it was like 8 hours long. Jesus Christ. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you like the video, like the content, you can always like, subscribe, and share. Remember, it's completely up to you. I do appreciate it though. On the way to 3K subs. Jesus, I can't talk. 3K subs. You know the drill for the rest of the stuff, man. You like the stuff, you want to leave a comment, all good stuff. Love to see, love to hear. My name is Azrael. Whatever I'm doing next time. You guys know the drill, hopefully. I'll see you guys later. This video right now. Jesus, this reaction. Oh, God, I'm so tired, man. Jesus. Either way, I do appreciate you guys checking out the content. Later.